Joe Benson, totally blind, has been hired through the Rehabilitation Service for a job as a drill press operator. He reports to work with the morning shift and has no difficulty in getting to his building. Joe follows the regular plant procedures. He finds his time card readily because it is notched. Joe's instructor has already shown him what a drill is like and what it's supposed to do. Before going on to the next step in the instruction, Joe proves that he has already mastered step number 1.
All right, Joe, suppose you tell me how the drill operates.
The drill points down this way and turns clockwise. And I can understand that the harder I press down on it while turning, the more it is likely to bite into the work.
That's right. What else?
These are the cutting edges or lips.
Good.
When the corner or these edges become rounded off, the drill is dull.
Yeah, Joe, and then we send it to the grinder. All right, now for the machine itself. This is the main safe starting point. You'll notice that it's about waist high. Now, there are no exposed parts in the front or on either side that are moved by power, except these 2 shafts. So you'll always be safe in taking hold of it here, whether the machine is running or not.
I understand.
Now, before we check any further, we want to be sure that the machine is completely stopped. So let's move on down to the chuck, the part that holds the drill. First, you touch the top of the chuck, and then the chuck itself. Now, you keep your hand on the chuck while I give it a slow turn, so you can see the motion. Now, always use your left hand to make this check, Joe, because then your fingers are pointed in the direction of the rotation, and you can't get hurt.
I see.
Now, here is the table on which the work is placed. All right, Joe, suppose you repeat those movements and tell me just what you're doing.
I start at about waist height and follow a safe path down to this chuck. I use my left hand so that my fingers will be pointed in the direction of the rotation. In this way, they won't get hurt.
That's good, Joe. Now, take a look up here on top. This is the housing. It covers the pulleys and the gears and the moving belts. On this machine, all the gears are enclosed, and it's operated by an enclosed motor. Now, here at the left corner of the housing, you'll find 2 push buttons. You press the bottom one to start the motor and the top one to stop it. Now, I want you to start it. Now, stop it and look at the chuck to see if the machine is still moving.
Now it's stopped.
That's good, Joe. Well, now that you know your way around the drill press, you can start it and stop it. Suppose you take a look for the drill bit. It's fastened in the chuck. The setup man has adjusted it just right, and it's all ready for work.
This is it right here.
That's right. Well, after you've learned to operate the machine, I'll show you how to insert new drills and to adjust them to the correct height. Now, you want to know how to feed the drill down into the work on the table below it. Well, over here, on the right-hand side of this safe area, is a lever. Actually, it's one of the spokes of a metal wheel. There are 4 of them. You use the one that's in the most convenient position.
I see.
Now, keep looking at the chuck and drill with your left hand and pull slowly and easily forward and downward on the lever. You see how the drill moves down as you bring the lever forward? All right, now lift it up.
Okay.
That's good, Joe. All right, now suppose we check ourselves. You tell me how you start an operated drill press.
Up here at the housing are the buttons for starting and stopping the machine. This lever feeds the drill into the work.
That's good, Joe. And here is the work that you're going to do. Take a look at this piece of tubing. It has a smooth collar on one end, and the other end is threaded. Now, your job is going to be to drill a 3/16 of an inch hole right here through the collar.
How do I get the drill to start at the right place?
Joe, take a look at this. That's what we call a jig. It holds the work in place when you're drilling. It has this hardened steel bushing as a guide for the drill bit. Now turn it over. And you notice the thumb screws at each end?
I see. The one at the right seems bigger than the other one.
You're right, Joe, it is. Now take a look inside with your forefinger. And tell me what you find.
There is a larger recess at the one end and a small hole inside.
Yes, Joe, and that's the hole the drill comes through into the work.
Then the tube fits in here?
That's right, Joe. And with the collar fitting snugly in that larger part of the recess.
Like that?
That's right. Now tighten up on your larger thumb screw. That's so the hole will be accurately located. Now tighten up on the smaller thumb screw. That's so the work will be held securely in the jig. Well, that's it. All right, Joe. Would you mind taking the tube out of the jig and telling me how you'd put it back in again?
First, I put the tube into the jig so that the collar fits snugly into the larger recess. Then I tighten the larger thumb screw and then the smaller one.
And now you place the jig on the table with this bushing pointing away from you. Hold the jig firmly with the left hand with your forefinger over the hole in the bushing. Now I'll slide the jig over until the drill just touches the finger opposite the hole.
I get it.
Now you move the jig over until the drill is directly above the hole. And pull down on the lever and see how the drill goes into the hole.
Let me do that again. I put my forefinger here. I move it up here until it just touches the drill.
That's right.
I continue to move the jig under the drill until the drill is just above the hole. Then I pull down on the lever and the drill goes into the hole.
The slight funnel shape at the top of the bushing helps the drill to complete the lineup.
How'd I hit that one?
That was first rate, Joe. All right. Now, there's just one more step before you actually start to drill. Over here to your right, fastened onto the table, is a cup. There's oil in it. And there's a brush. Now, will you take the brush and put a little oil on the drill? We use oil to keep the drill from burning and to wash the chips away from the hole as the drill comes through. You better try it a couple of times, Joe, just to get your locations.
How's that?
That's swell, Joe. Now put the brush back in the cup. Now start your motor. And with your left hand, hold the jig in position. Now, Joe, this drilling operation is largely in getting the feel of the drill. So I'll take hold of the lever, and you put your hand over mine. Now it's just beginning to come through, and you notice I ease up on the pressure, or I press down tight on the jig. Remove the drill. Now, we eased up on the pressure, Joe, so the drill wouldn't grab too big a bite at that point. If we didn't ease up, we might chip or break the drill. All right, slide your jig back, pick it up, unscrew the thumb screws, take out the part, and I'll show you where to put it. Right over here in this box to your right, and with the holes pointing to the left. Now, Joe, there are two boxes here. The one to the right, that's for the finished parts, and the one to the left has the parts you're going to work on. Pick up a fresh one. And you'd better tell me what you're going to do before you do it.
First, I place the tube in the jig with the collar fitting firmly in the larger recess. Then I tighten the larger thumb screw, then the smaller one. With my right hand, I brush a little oil on the drill. With my left hand, I move the jig in position, while with my right hand, I bring down the lever with a steady pressure.
That's it. And I'll steady your hand while you get the feel of the drill.
The drill is just starting to come through. I ease up, hold down tight on the jig, remove the drill, and slide the jig back. I remove the part and place it in the box on the right with the hole pointing to the left.
That's good, Joe. All right, now suppose you do one or two while I stand by and watch.
Okay.
How's it going?
Why, all right. I'm beginning to feel quite friendly with the machine.
Well, don't get too friendly with it. Keep it under control.
You can depend on me for that, Mr. Bates. You know, a fellow that's blind always sticks to the ways that he knows are safe.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Joe. I only wish I could say as much for the rest of the boys who still have the use of their two good eyes. Well, we're seeing you.
Well, Fred, how's the new man doing at the drill press?
Fine.
Did you have any trouble instructing him?
Not at all.
Tell me, Fred, how did you go about it?
Well, just the same as with a sighted person. You just have to keep 2 points in mind. First, that a blind person observes things through his sense of touch. And second, you've got to begin with a safe starting area and work out safe paths to the moving parts and controls. Otherwise, it's the same step-by-step procedure as in all good instruction.
How's his production?
Well, he's already made rate. By next week, he'll go way beyond it.
That's fine.